Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Tonight on the Channel 2 News, millions of dollars of boost money is out there. The Secretary of Finance says their monitoring process so far has had mixed results. Also tonight, tourism arrivals are up, and almost all of those numbers are coming from South Korea. And will tourism numbers from China rebound? Governor Palacio says the CNMI Parole in Place program could be in peril, and he continues to take a cautious wait-and-see approach. Stay with us, these stories and more, next.
What's the move?
Labor Day, a time to celebrate and pay tribute to the contributions of each and every working individual in the CNMI and nationwide. Stay safe this Labor Day weekend. Don't drink and drive, and always designate a sober driver. Drink responsibly so we can celebrate you once more at next year's Labor Day picnic. Happy Labor Day, CNMI. We appreciate your service. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the CNMI Department of Public Safety.
Hello, welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order, please?
ご注文はお決まりですか?
The McNuggets of chicken.
I haven't had a Big Mac in a long time.
How many filet of fishes did you eat? That's over several months, Ryan.
Quiero McFlurry.
In Puerto Rico, a McFlurry it's called a Señor Flurry.
2 golden menus.
Wonderful crew at McDonald's.
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 They're McDonald's. I'm McDowell's.
Are you gonna order something?
Major General Mark Hashimoto says there have been some significant changes in the military plans for the Mariana Islands.
We reduced the number of live fire ranges from 14 down to 2. We took away the amphibious landing beach, which would have caused significant requirements to mitigate possible damage to coral. Training on Pagan is no longer part of the proposed concept. There will be no air-to-ground delivered munitions. There will be no what we refer to as dud-producing rounds.
Military held an open house last night to share updates, and we'll have another one tonight at the Crowne Plaza.
We think we've come a long way. We listen to the voices of the people of the CNMI, and we think the information that we have will provide the public with a good understanding of what our proposed action is for enhanced training on Tinian.
The updated draft of the environmental impact statement will be published in about a year. Lisa Graham is with the NEPA program for the Marine Corps.
So we're coming out with a draft document that will look at impacts to the environment, impacts to the community, and then we'll have a series of public meetings and a public review process associated with that.
Carlos Hathcock with the Training and Education Command.
We're going to deconflict our activities with the other activities that people want to have up there. Specifically, we'll be able to be in one of the training areas we have designated, and we'll be able to have civilian access or other access in the other training areas.
What we did is we considered a wide variety of stakeholders, inter-island commuters, people who do subsistence activities, boaters, fishermen, divers, tourists, cultural practitioners, things like that. And we tried to develop a new concept that had the least amount of impact on those stakeholders.
Herman Cabrera says he's not against anything necessarily, but he does have a lot of questions.
I'm curious on how the military really going to build up Tinian, especially on the north side. I'm concerned about the environment. I'm concerned about the historical site. I'm concerned about the area, the water, the beach around. So those are the questions that we need to protect. I am not against the military and with the military, but we need to balance out the environment, the historical, and a lot of things that public doesn't know.
A 55-year-old Coblerville man has been arrested on charges of assault and battery, disturbing the peace, domestic violence, assault, and vandalism. Isidro Pangilinan has bail set at $5,000. 2 victims reported by police. He was arrested Sunday at 10:44 in the morning. Bail set at $3,000 for Michael Oleitman, a 28-year-old fitness man, arrested after allegedly throwing an electric fan at the victim, striking her and choking her. He was booked and detained. According to the Marianas Visitors Authority, arrivals to the islands of Saipan, Tinian, and Rota reached just over 25,000 visitors in July of 2023, compared to 10,000 visitors received in July of 2022. Bulk of those coming from South Korea, 20,000 of them. Compare that to just over 8,000 in July of last year. In July of 2019, 23,000 Koreans visited Saipan. These new numbers mark the first month the market has surpassed 20,000 arrivals since prior to the pandemic. By the end of fiscal year 2023, available air seats from Korea are projected to be restored to 78% of the number available before the pandemic. From Japan, the Marianas received just under 900 visitors compared to 109 visitors in July of 2022. China arrivals more than Japan, coming in at 1,075 compared to 47 arrivals in July of 2023. Most of the visitors from China are FITs arriving from Seoul and Tokyo. The China National Tourism Administration reinstated the Marianas on its approved destination status list last week, allowing package tours and charter flights to the destination once again. Prior to the pandemic, China was one of the top source markets for the Marianas. While the market is anticipated to continue incremental growth, it is expected it will take several months before charter flights resume and more arrivals are seen. Overall, visitor arrivals to the Marianas have recovered 44% year-to-date compared to FY 2019 before the pandemic. In July, the Marianas also received just over 1,100 visitors from the USA, just under 1,000 visitors from Guam, and a combined 323 visitors from all other markets. China has made it easier for Chinese tourists to leave the country as of late as the country continues to open up post-pandemic. Direct charter flights to the NMI have not yet started. Could happen as soon as early next year. Meanwhile, tensions between the U.S. and China continue in the Pacific. Governor Palacios.
My current position is still the same. We cannot continue to be reliant. If they come, that's great. I'm glad that the Chinese government opened up the U.S., United Kingdom, Australia, the CNMI, and all that. But you got to remember, those are also under visa, right? Visa, not a visa. We have a special case here.
Unlike Guam and the United States, Chinese tourists here are able to access the NMI with a parole-in-place program. The requirements are much less onerous than traveling to the rest of the U.S. It's a remnant of a time when the NMI controlled its own borders and Chinese tourism became a component of the economy. So as not to harm the NMI economically, the federal government agreed to a special program that allowed Chinese and at that time Russian tourists to come in without a visa.
We can't put our eggs in that market, all our eggs in that market. I'm not going to stop it, right? I'm not going to go out there and say that we're going to stop it. But at the end of the day, this is a sensitive situation. We're in that climate right now. The geopolitical climate right now is very sensitive.
Chinese tourists are starting to come, but nothing on the scale of as before. Last month, about 1,000 entered the CNMI, and birth tourism is also coming back.
Ours is a visa waiver. They don't even need a visa, right? Whereas if they're going to go to, say, California, they have to go through a visa process. So the vetting process is different, okay? And so, like I said, it's a sensitive issue, and people shouldn't take that for granted. Because at any given day, the federal government can pull a plug. And so we need to be very mindful of that. And so those folks that bring in the tourists, make sure that they're accounted for when they come in and accounted for when they leave. I mean, look, to be quite honest with you, we all know. We all see it. You guys have it in your news. Overstaying Chinese tourists on Saipan and overstaying CW from the Commonwealth, making their way to Guam illegally. So I'm not sure what the federal government's going to do with that. So there's a sensitivity. We cannot discount that and bury our head in the sand and say, well, everything's great.
Prior to the pandemic, Chinese tourism made up a significant portion of arrivals. In July of 2019, 18,000 Chinese tourists visited the CNMI. The operators of charter flights from China have strict protocols in place to limit overstayers, but the program's also been mired in controversy. Hundreds, perhaps thousands of construction workers entered the Commonwealth as tourists to work on the casino project, and now many of them are making their way to Guam on small speedboats in the middle of the night to find work there.
Although we had good intentions, right? There are people out there that are going to take advantage of the visa waiver and, in effect, do things that's going to jeopardize the program. And that's the unfortunate part of this. Again, in the present sensitive climate that we're in geopolitically, you know, that's the probabilities keeps going up that something's going to happen to our visa waiver. And I'm not going to advocate that we do that. We need to, you know, because federal government cannot continue to, they don't have the resources out here to do just that. Maybe they should put in, but it may be more convenient for them to put a plug and say, if you want to go to the Commonwealth, you have to go through the regular visa process and vetting.
Opioids are commonly prescribed drugs. They can help ease short-term pain after surgery, an accident, or illness. Common brand names include Vicodin, Demerol, OxyContin, and Percocet. Opioids can be very addictive, and they can actually change how your brain works. Opioid misuse can lead to death. If you are prescribed an opioid medication, talk to your doctor. Always take exactly as directed, never take higher doses, keep your medication secure, and safely dispose of unused or expired medication. It only takes a little to lose a lot.
This project was supported by a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation. Contents are solely the responsibility of CHCC and do not necessarily represent the official views of the CDC or the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
One of the best addresses in Saipan has office space available now, right in the heart of things. The Marianas Business Plaza offers reasonable rates and can help build to suit your needs. You'll love the central location, just 15 minutes from the airport and 10 minutes from Garapan. Ample and covered parking keeps your vehicle close and protected. 2 restaurants for easy access, lunch, dinner and business meetings. Building security and 24-hour access to your office. Backup generators, so you can run your business in all weather. And 3 elevators mean easy and convenient access. It's the address in Saipan, the Marianas Business Plaza.
Get your goods here with care and attention with Micronesia Air Cargo Services. MAX is all about connections. Daily flights to and from Guam, 4 times a week to Rota, and bi-weekly flights to Tinian. We are connecting the Marianas. Perishable goods, Home Depot furniture and appliances, even live animals, operating since 2013. Check out our Thursday special to Rota from Guam and Saipan. Call Max at 670-288-6227. If it fits, we'll take it. Checkpoints are scheduled for Saturday night on Chalon, Monsignor Guerrero Road in Chalon-Quiza. First checkpoint there will be from 7:30 p.m. to 8:45 p.m. in the westbound lane. Second checkpoint later that night will be on Chalon-Pale Arnold Road in the southbound lane. That's going to happen from 10 p.m. to 11:15 p.m. Again, this is Saturday night. If you can't remember when or where those checkpoints are, you might be the type of driver that the local police force would like to speak with on Saturday night. Be careful out there and remember to designate a driver and practice defensive driving. Secretary of Finance says about $17 million of federal funds went out to businesses in the controversial Boost program launched last year. Part of the terms and conditions required awardees to retain all records, invoices, and documents related to Boost for a period of 5 years. In March, the Secretary issued letters to the Boost awardees requiring them to submit current status of Boost award expenditures.
So we sent out those letters. We received good responses from recipients. There were some that needed more time because they did not have the documentation that we were requesting, that are required documentation to have on hand, and there's quite a handful that have not responded at all. And so those are high-risk flags that we will be working with the Attorney General's office on.
A lot of the money went to new businesses or startup ideas who had just gotten a business license to apply for the program.
It was too good to be true. Usually it doesn't go like that. Usually a business will have to be 1 year active in order for them to receive that kind of money.
It appears now that a lot of the money went to insiders. 3 evaluators chose the boosted companies and the boosted amounts, but there appears to be no defensible rubric of how applications were evaluated or awarded. Thousands of applications were stored in boxes, weren't looked at in order, and phone calls could move applications to the tops of the piles. The legislature investigated. A commerce staffer who was also one of the evaluators, Jesus Taisagui, was asked about companies he was either part owner of or affiliated with that got boosted.
For the record, let the record reflect that Flower Tea House was awarded $125,000 on October 27, 2022, and again a second award of $200,000 on December 13, 2022, for a total of $325,000.
Bank of Saipan was paid a portion of the boost fees to administer the program. The bank pulled out of the controversy in December and returned the balance of the unawarded funds. But the bank was also one of the biggest recipients, a $500,000 boost award. Someone who is running a program, should they be participating in the program?
That is very unusual, yes.
Finance Secretary Tracy Narita says a handful of companies have returned boost money. She calls it a voluntary cancellation of an award. Did the bank return that $500,000?
No, it's still under review.
Is that something you would ask them to return?
In Bank of Saipan's case, because they were the administrator of the program, I'm still in the process of requesting documentation of what that scope of work looked like and how that work was, or how the services were procured. So that's something that is still under review. So I don't have anything to disclose yet.
The Department of Finance is now tasked with tracking Boost expenditures.
At this point, we're focusing on compliance of awards that have been received, including the Bank of Saipan. I don't want to make any statements about how the program should have been, because we all have our opinions on how it could have been run better, all the improvements that could have happened. But at this point, we just want to move forward and focus on compliance and ensure that the funds that were received were used for the intended purposes, and that's the reason why we issued those compliance letters, and that's the work that we're doing. That's where we're focusing on.
Tee it up for tourism Labor Day weekend. No ifs, ands, or puts. Check out the Marianas Tourism Golf Classic on Saturday, September the 2nd, West Course. Lau Lau Bay Golf and Resort medal play format with 7 flights, cash, and amazing prizes. And best of all, proceeds benefit the Marianas Tourism Education Council and School My Wave clubs. Registration forms available at Lau Lau Bay MBA or on the Marianas calendar online. You can pay $120 or you can pay $140. So I know what you're thinking. I got some game. How do I get that $120 price? Well, you sign up before August 25th and then you can use that extra $20 for some side action. May the course be with you. Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They are an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle. Premium office space is available now at the Hermosa Vista Business Park on Capitol Hill. Features include dedicated parking, fast internet, backup power, good water, and natural light throughout to go along with the very best views on Saipan. So don't settle for space when you can get peace and peace of mind. Call Hermosa Vista today at 670-483-4750 or email hvsaipan@gmail.com. Hey, golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week.
Buenas sports fans.
In sports, as the Women's World Cup marches to a final, we have local football action.
1, 2, 3, let's go, boys!
Most of those clouds are gone. Tonight, partly cloudy with isolated showers, light and variable winds, lows around 76. High today was 87. Chance of showers tonight, 20%. Thursday, partly cloudy, isolated showers, partly sunny with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms by noon. Light and variable winds, highs around 87. Chance of showers, 30%. Going into Friday, Thursday night, partly cloudy, isolated showers, light and variable winds, lows around 76, highs around 87, chance of showers 20%. There is still a moderate risk of rip current around east-facing reefs. That should subside by Friday. Surf heights are 2 to 4 feet on north-facing reefs, 4 to 6 feet on east-facing reefs, 2 to 4 feet to the south, and 3 to 5 feet on west-facing reefs.